First up here this evening, it is being called one of the largest drug busts of its kind.
Planet Earth has witnessed millions of creative drug smuggling attempts, with plans to find hidden ways to go around customs control at the airports or strict border patrol. It has created more drug kingpins than ever in history, as not only drugs but other rare products are being smuggled from country to country. The following video will go over 10 of the most genius smuggling tactics in history. Disclaimer: this video is not meant to teach you how to smuggle, but rather entertain you on how creative human beings have become. Be ready for a thrilling video showing the ambitious efforts people have gone through to con police and legal forces all over the world. Number 10. Queen Bee. In Frankfurt's International Airport, a man had reported that he was sending boxes and boxes of bees for a famous Belgian beekeeper. But the customs patrol saw that the paperwork did not have a matching explanation of what was originally explained. And when they investigated the shipment, they were blown away at what they saw. All throughout the boxes, smaller plastic boxes were placed filled with cocaine and totaling more than $1 million in street value. But the greed of the South American smugglers is what led to their downfall. They predicted that never in a million years will customs police officers want to open the boxes, fearing the bees will sting them. But they didn't realize that the buzzing noises coming from the bees would make the drug dogs curious. At the end of the day, the shipment was seized, showing that sooner or later the customs team will always win. Number 9. Secret undercover submarine. As border control has become more and more strict, submarines have become an extremely popular tactic to stay under the radar. And the engineers working on these underwater boats are definitely Ivy League university level, and the origins of these narco submarines started all the way in Colombia, the drug capital of the world. Towards the end of 2019, the United States DEA caught on to a Colombian submarine with more than 16,500 cubic pounds of cocaine, approximating to more than $231 million. This was definitely a goldmine catch. The sub was a well-crafted masterpiece. Not only could it travel between continents, but more than 2% of the sub could stay hidden underwater. Best of all, it could camouflage, making it impossible to see by authorities. When engineers masterminded these submarines, they strategically created a wooden board that is wrapped around with fiberglass to stop modern radar from detecting any underwater movement. Not only do they have small breathing holes for the intake of oxygen, but at their tip is an extremely small telescope to see the waters ahead. Don't forget now, these vessels are extremely expensive to construct, sometimes costing more than $1 million, and multiple hours of manpower is required, sometimes taking up to 3 to 4 months to build. The team required to operate one of these vessels consists of up to 4 people, all required to overcome intensive preparation and training because of how dangerous their job is. Imagine being stuck in a small claustrophobic area underwater for months, as well as risking the possibility of being jailed for life if you are caught, as well as going through a diet that does not consist of making you full or luxurious foods. This particular submarine was caught as the DEA's radar systems saw something lurking in the waters from a distance. The submarine was raided as a group of raging agents broke the hatchet cap open and pulled all of the smuggling team out. And the media did nothing but replay the video all over TV stations. It was such a big discovery, not only in terms of a drug bust, but that a new system of smuggling has just been discovered. Even Mike Pence, former vice president to Trump, recognized this event as a major victory. Just recently, hundreds of thousands of these drug ships are being discovered, but just imagine how many of them are getting away in broad daylight. For every 100 ships that are making the voyage to the United States, it is estimated only one of them is caught, leaving the other 99 victorious in polluting the United States with deadly drugs. Just ponder on the thought of how rich these drug kingpins are becoming. Number 8. The Reptile Suitcase. When you think of smuggling, the first thing that comes to your mind is drugs. But in many cases, it can be living exotics, as smuggling exotic animals has become a popular act. In 2002, the DEA at an airport in Australia discovered something odd. A Thai man coming in from Thailand was carrying a couple suitcases when he was randomly pulled over with DEA requesting to check his bags. The airport luggage scanner identified extremely hot objects on its heat radar. When his bag was opened, more than 20 turtles and lizards were found inside, all with the intention of being smuggled. Best of all, these animals were extremely rare, with most of them being on the verge of extinction, meaning that if sold, they could bring the man a heavy profit. A strategically brilliant tactic, as the man placed the animals inside breathable socks and cases, making it survivable for hours inside the airplane luggage department. If an inspector opened the luggage, it would be nearly impossible to spot the live reptiles. But unfortunately, sophisticated X-ray machines spotting heat led to this man's demise. The capture caught the attention of animal rights and exotic animal protection agencies all over the world. Australia, being a remote island, is known for its people paying very well for exotic animals. The criminal, on the other hand, was said to profit anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 if his transaction was to be successful. Fortunately, he was caught, and the penalties he faced will definitely make sure he doesn't commit the so-called crime again. As for the animals, they were confiscated by the state with plans to release them back into the wild. Number 7. An Elephant's Nightmare. With the rising demand in ivory house decorations of the filthy and rich, ivory smuggling has been going on for centuries, and in 2015, an event took place that stunned the world. As a cargo truck was traveling through Indonesia, it had been spotted carrying a load of timber woods for construction. As authorities were tipped off to inspect the vehicle and its load, X-ray machines spotted hollow insides, creating anger and rage to bust these criminals. One by one, they split the wooden logs in half and discovered more than 3 tons of elephant tusks had been carefully smuggled. That's more than 1,000 tusks and 500 elephants that were horrifically tortured, as one by one their tusks were ripped off. Not only was this the biggest ivory seizure in the last century, but it also acted as a genocide to elephants all over Africa. This event also shows us that with modern-day technology, how crucial it can be to confiscate illegal items and stop those harming beautiful wildlife. Although no one knows what happens to confiscated elephant tusks, as they can never be put back on elephants, we hope that somehow they are put to good use. Number 6. Shoe Bonanza. Some smuggling tactics are said to become so obvious that new TSA guidelines have to be created to stop all the chaos. Here we see Richard Reed, known to metaphorically have a PhD in smuggling. He hid explosive material in his sneakers. An Arabic descentist living in the United Kingdom emptied the soles of his sneakers, filling them up with explosive materials. All of a sudden, airline passengers realized that an airy, smoky smell had begun to fill the plane. Fortunately, one of the passengers spotted Richard with a lighter in his hand and immediately reported the fiasco to the pilot and onboard team. And to his demise, he was punished by authorities as well as immediate alterations in TSA protocol, with new guidelines calling for all shoes to be checked. All it takes is a group of bad apples to ruin airport checkpoints for everyone. Just imagine if we were able to get through airport security in 1/5 of the time. But thanks to these sinister and evil people, airport checkpoints are now filled with long lines and hours of checkpoints. Number 5. Hollow statues. In 2012, a truck was entering the border of Turkey, coming all the way from the country of Bulgaria. The 18-wheeler was filled with statues looking as if they were hundreds of years old of ancient origin. But when border security tried moving a couple of these statues, they saw that their weight was way out of the ordinary, with some too heavy to even move. The truck was seized, and when authorities put the statues through X-ray machines, they saw that they were stuffed with hundreds of gold coins going all the way back to the Roman Empire. Not only were the coins from thousands of years ago, but they were worth millions. Who would have ever thought in a million years that statues would be seized? The audacious ambition of Border Patrol agents shows us that sooner or later, no matter how crafty you are, you will be caught. On the other hand, it is crucial to recognize that more and more security efforts need to be put in place to preserve ancient artifacts and rare historical objects. Number 5. Cocaine-penetrated cloth. The journey of bright ideas in the smuggling world was transformed when cartel group started to put cocaine in clothing cloth. In early 2012, Chilean checkpoint groups caught on to baggage with a couple of t-shirts inside of it. When the smuggler was placing his luggage through X-ray machines, something of odd nature was spotted. And when picking up the t-shirt, DEA agents realized that the t-shirt was extremely heavy in size. When the man was pulled over and his shirts inspected with chemicals, it became obvious they had been soaked with an undetectable cocaine liquid. Just ponder to yourselves how brilliant yet evil this tactic is. You can literally wear a t-shirt and pass through inspections being 100% undetectable, with each shirt carrying almost 1 kilo of cocaine. And when you are back at the lab, the scientist could detach the cocaine with another chemical. Another milestone that forced the TSA to become stricter on checkpoint protocol. Although credit is due to Chilean authorities for spotting this slithering smuggling tactic. Number 3. The poor boy who broke his leg. In the year 2009, a man traveling from Chile to Spain's Barcelona was spotted sitting in a wheelchair wearing a cast over his leg. When asked what happened, he told authorities he was involved in a horrid accident, causing him to break his leg. The TSA agent was stunned to see that this man's cast was not normal in size, and rather, he was wearing a cast twice the size of the one that he has ever seen. In addition, the man did not seem to be agitated by the cast or show any sign of discomfort. As he was taken into an inspections room, they discovered he not only had cocaine inside, but the cast as well was made out of a mixture of cocaine and other dry liquids. with more than 5 pounds of cocaine in total. This was a triumphant day for Spanish airport authorities. To add on to his horrific day, they also discovered him with 6 plastic cans all filled with cocaine. With drugs having such exponential profits, this incident is the perfect example of what humans will do to smuggle drugs all throughout the world. This incident is still considered pure ingenuity, but as well the Customs Patrol is not a force to be messed with. Number 2. Money that is not real. More popular now than ever, counterfeit dollars being created. From $100 bills to $20 bills to even $1 bills. Creating fake dollars is a highly rampant activity. In the year 2005, a smuggling phenomenon took place that shook the world, that frightened banks and financial businesses. In Colombia, specifically in the city of Bogota, a new funded printing factory was discovered, but not one of ordinary nature. It was so sophisticated and modern, with machines almost identical to those of the actual monetary printing presses in the United States. An operation so marvel that almost $41 million was printed and ready to be illegally distributed all across the world. More mind-boggling was that they used paper similar to that used in real money, ink almost identical in color, and watermarks to fool any sophisticated or fake money scanner. The mastermind plan of the criminals was to create these dollars and somehow with strategic actions bring these dollars into the US market and US banks. It didn't matter where they were going to hide the money, from shoes to ancient art. They just had one mission statement in mind: get our product into the United States. But never doubt the smarts of intelligence agencies in the United States. They soon caught on to the scam, seizing almost $6 million in Bogota and another $1 million in the state of Florida. The long and dreadful efforts of the agencies concluded in more than 35 people being detained and shutting down Colombia's most sophisticated monetary print center, detailing the importance of US and Colombian crime defense officials. Number 1. Carrots penetrated with tobacco. You would never think that tobacco was such a highly requested item, but in the year 2013, Moldov's border patrol spotted a car filled with carrots. The smuggling team patiently cut the interiors of the carrots out and slowly filled them with tobacco product. The team then got even more crazy as they mixed regular carrots with the tobacco ones, predicting that never in a million years would they be inspected. With a simple look, no border official would ever think something was off about this truck, as carrots are a popular food imported from country to country. The driver even had sufficient import paperwork, but when they weighed the carrots, there was a large discrepancy all throughout. When they analyzed and brought in experts, it soon became evident that more than half of the so-called carrots were of fake constructed of waxy material and later painted in the color orange. With a mastermind plan to smuggle more than 100 pounds of these drugs, and with high import taxes placed on tobacco products, we now understand why tobacco smuggling is such a popular action. Please comment below on what you think of these different smuggling tactics and which ones shocked you the most. And please tune in every week for more and more enlightening videos.